Okay, while my wife is doing the grocery shopping, having some, what are we eating?
That's
What is that?
French fries.
French fries, that's right. French fries, chicken sandwich, right? Is it yummy?
Yeah.
Right? Chicken sandwich, French fries. Right behind me, you can get some free hot water, cold water, or green tea. I'm drinking this here green tea. All right, so.
Yummy.
Welcome to Watch Symposium. I'm Austin. All right, so I got a comment from Matt Stevens this morning, and he's thinking of selling his Vostok. Matt Stevens without a Vostok is like John Suckerhorn without a cigarette. It's like Archie at 9:30 in the morning without at least 4 whiskeys in his stomach. I'm still finding my legs, but I'll be okay. So, it turns out Matt's more into the G-Shock, and it's interesting because a G-Shock is just a route that I have yet to go, and I wonder if I ever will go that route. I do like my Casio. I have 2 Casios, F91W, and pretty much like a similar watch with a different layout. Well, it's the same watch with a different layout. And I love those. I use them at the gym, and they're super functional. And that's what I think the draw is with a G-Shock. They are just full of functions, very usable, and you know, you've got a chronograph on there, you've got the date, you know, all these things that a company like Rolex makes you pay thousands for. And people get bitten by the G-Shock bug. I know Guido did, and if I've learned anything about this hobby is that, you know, a month from now, 2 months from now, I could be deep into G-Shocks. Now, I would really be surprised if that were to happen, because while they are functional, form-wise, G-Shocks just don't do it for me, all right? And I'm going to talk about form and function and touch on those 2 subjects right now. They're 2 huge, weighty subjects, and you know, you can make a huge, long documentary on both those concepts, but we'll just talk on the periphery of those 2 concepts. Well, okay, first of all, let me just tell you my gripe with the G-Shock line in general. Size, okay? I think they are huge, monstrous, bulky, unrefined looking. And, you know, these G-Shocks, man, I mean, what, 50 millimeters, 55 millimeters? Say, I don't know what they go up to, but they are insanely huge, and in my opinion, insanely ugly. And that's kind of why I like the smaller Casios. Now, let's talk material, because that's a big one. Plastic, rubber. Just not into it. When I think of a watch, the watches that turn me on are metal bracelet. The only rubber or plastic I want are in the gaskets. That's it. Precious metal Rolex watches on rubber straps. I will never get it. I will never get it. The Yachtmaster on a rubber strap. It just, it puzzles me. I mean, I would be as puzzled as if Rolex were to come out with like a wood bracelet or something like that. It would just be, what? I mean, wood's a little bit crazy, but they do make wood watches, which are kind of garbagey, if you ask me. Gimmicky, and I wouldn't want one. Look, they're filled with these crappy quartz movements, and yeah, gimmicky. But all right, let's get back on topic. Yeah, so G-Shocks are very functional, but as far as the form, the aesthetic, they just don't do it for me. And it really is a balance, finding the perfect watch that is functional yet has the form. right? A balance of form and function. And really, when it comes down to it, I think for me, that's Rolex. I mean, look, you can't fault the form of a Rolex. It's pretty much perfection. Functionally, they're really good. Okay, they're you know, plus or minus a couple seconds a day, and they're consistent. And that's not something that's the case with this. Now, I did regulate this watch last night. It was dead on. I got up this morning and it was 20 seconds fast. Now, by the end of the day, it could still be 20 seconds fast. So, temperature, position, how wound it is, I think are all playing a factor, and I'm not getting the consistency, surprise, surprise, that I would with a Rolex. But that's why Rolex, you know, it ticks off the form, function, it ticks off the form box for me and the function box for me, because it's that consistency that is really, I think, so special, and it's something that that they do really well. So that really is the pinnacle of form and function for me. That's for me. Now, a lot of people would say Grand Seiko, you know, the spring drive, you got the sweeping second hand. I mean, the sweeping second hand, that sweeps more than any Rolex. That really truly is a sweep. And functionally, it keeps much better time than a Rolex, I'm assuming. But, and this is just me, the thought of quartz coming into play, the regulator, yeah, it's all mechanical. It detracts from, well, does it detract from the form or the function? It detracts from the form for me, because I look and I see, well, all mechanical but quartz inside, cheating, not 100% mechanical, electricity coming into play. Now, the plus side is it's gonna, you know, perform better, but it's a trade-off of function at the cost of form. And I'm pretty much a purist. I like things mechanical, just 100% mechanical, just like this. So, look, form-wise, I mean, a lot of faults could be found with this watch, but it is mechanically 100% mechanical, and in that respect, I like the form. Now, functionally, okay, we got a lot of issues here. Which is kind of the fun of them, right? Solving those issues and tinkering and whatnot and playing with it. But for someone that just wants a fantastic watch and they don't want to fiddle with it, and they've got better things to do than crack the case a couple times a day, then Rolex Omega would be the way to go. But yeah, the Grand Seiko, for many people, is sort of the perfect watch that embodies the greatest balance of form and function, because it's, you know, it's got that accuracy, it's got that sweeping second hand, it's all mechanical. But again, if you're a real purist like me, that might sort of turn you off, that incorporation of quartz. So in that sense, I think you really can't get better than a Rolex. You got the form. Oh boy, do you have the form. And you've got really, really good function. With a Casio, you got hell of a function, but no form. And I suppose there are other watches out there. Okay, well, if you've ever seen Producer Michael's channel, he's got a watch. It basically is like a domed mechanical what is it? It's like a little model of the Earth rotate. I mean, it's form-wise, it really doesn't do it for me, because it's like a snow globe on his wrist. But for some people who like that aesthetic, that I suppose could be, you know, the height of form. Now, functionally, wow. I mean, if he ever hits a door jamb, he's in trouble. But that's like I want to say that's like a $1 million watch there. Anyway, you can Google it, producer Michael watch. It's it's a trip. But for many, I suppose that would be a watch that is real high on form, but maybe functionally, we couldn't do much with it. And it'd be curious to know the accuracy of that watch. So anyway, there you go. If you're asking me, Rolex, the perfect balance of form and function. That's why I love it. That's why, you know, when you're done playing with this kind of nonsense, you go back to a Rolex. Rolex always takes care of you, always really just satisfies the form and function question, for me at least. What about you? I'm curious. What are there watches? And let's be specific here, because I'm talking brands. GMT Master 2. Well, or this, I don't know. They're like all the same watch. They just do little things different. Okay, if I had to choose one, GMT Master 2, because functionally you've got the bezel that you can use like a timer, or you can, you don't have to get into the crown to change time zones. You can swim with it. You could dive with it. You couldn't go deep sea diving with it. It'll be fine. And aesthetically, it's fantastic. So yeah, GMT Master 2, Rolex, perfect balance, form and function, probably the greatest watch ever, in my opinion. What about you? What's the perfect balance of form and function? I'm generally curious about what my viewers think. This is not sort of a trick to get you to comment, interact with my videos. I get more Google money. I really kind of want to know what you guys think is specifically the greatest balance of form and function. Okay? Take care. Thanks for watching. See you next time.